Right, today guys we're going to have a look at the roundhouse kick and how to do it. So, with a roundhouse kick, it is a kick that's coming around the side of the body. So it's called roundhouse kick. The idea is it's coming around the guard, it's coming around and hitting you to the side of the head or side of the body, depending how you stood obviously. The main point is with the roundhouse kick. So I'm going to explain the kick through and what we're trying to do, then I'm going to give you some training aids. So imagine now, or you can see my target in front of me. The idea of the kick is I'm coming around with it, so I'm turning my body into the kick. So the striking areas are either the instep, the top of the foot, or the shin. Obviously the shin is going to be a lot more effective, a lot stronger of a technique, but with the shin I've got to be a little bit closer. So depending obviously what style you're fighting, if it's point stop or point karate, you want to be hitting with the instep. If it's a little bit more full contact like kickboxing or MMA, you want to be aiming more with your shin. Never say never, you can use both in all disciplines, but if it's for speed, you're going to use the closest weapon to the target. If it's for power, you want to use the strongest weapon on the target. So with the roundhouse kick, main point is I've got my guard up, I'm in my fighting stance. Most important thing is I've got to open my hips. So I've got to turn my hips in order to turn my body and let my leg come through for the kick. Now when I'm doing the kick, everything's got to move as a unit. So from there now, if you're just starting off, I advise you in your fighting stance to step off to the side. So if this is a clock, this is 12 o'clock, I'm stepping off towards 2 o'clock. This now is turn my hips. From there now, my body's going to come around with my leg. My leg's going to lift up, I'm coming around, and I'm going to deliver the kick, and I'm coming back through. When I'm doing the kick, my leg's got to be horizontal. So my knee now is going to be on its side. So I'm going to turn, I lift my leg up, I turn now, so my knee's pointing at the target, my leg's on its side, my leg is chambered. The kick comes around, I come back to my chambered position and back to my guard. So, when we're doing the kick, like I said, everything has to move as a unit. If there's one part of my body left behind, it's going to make it hard for the kick. What I see a lot of people doing when they first start doing the kick is they try and keep their hips full facing and they pull their shoulder back. This is going against your body. If I wanted to step, I don't step and leave half my body behind. I move myself as a unit. Same with your kick. If I'm here now, I'm turning my body, I'm going to turn around and I'm kicking. My shoulder is in line with my hip. So when I'm doing the kick to start with, I'd advise you either having a target or at least having something that you're aiming at or watching your kick. So from there now I'm going to turn the front foot out. My body's going to come around, my shoulder is pointing towards the kick, I'm looking at the kick. Everything's in line here. Then I bring myself back and I'm coming back through. So I'm going to come around, kick and come back. Now what tends to happen is people try and kick a bit too high when they first start. So as they're kicking, the leg's going up. You want to make sure that leg is horizontal to start with. Obviously there's lots of stretches we can do to help improve flexibility, but if you don't have technique, then you're never going to be able to do the kick correctly. You'll get to a point where you can do it so far, but then you'll hit a point where you can't go any further. So you'll sort of hit a ceiling. If you do the kick correctly, then all the way through, as your flexibility improves, the height of the kick will improve. So, a couple of ways to drill it now to help you get used to it. Number one, I'm just going to practice the kick. So I'm going to turn my body, lift my leg around, checking it's in line, I recover, and I come back through. Once you get used to practicing the kick or understand the mechanics of the kick, we can then do a few drills to aid the kick. So if you've got something to lean on, from there now you're going to lift your knee up. So you practice coming to this chambered position, extending the leg, coming back through. So you lift up, making sure you're in your chambered position, you kick, you come back through. If that knee's pointing towards the ceiling or chop it up, the kick's going to chop up. It's important that knee is on its side. So once we understand the mechanics of the kick, is how we get the kick better. So then you challenge yourself. So we find ways now of pushing ourselves a little bit. Now, I'm never saying never that you don't ever do a bad kick, because sometimes you want to try and force that flexibility. But as long as you know that the kick is incorrect. So if you're pushing flexibility, you might let the leg chop up a bit to get your leg sort of used to that new territory. But know that you're doing it. Don't try and convince yourself, now I can kick to the head, but it was swinging up like in a straight line. It's got to be, I can almost kick to the head, but if I do a bad kick, I can. Now you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually your legs will get more flexible, and then that kick will be able to do it. But always practice it with good technique unless you're trying to push to a new level. So when we're doing the kick now, ways of training it, practice doing it in your comfort zone. So I'm going to go, right, I can do a low kick comfortably, I'll recover. I push to a middle kick, I can do it comfortably. I find now when I go a bit higher, the legs sort of chopping up. So I know my baseline flexibility is here. So I need to try and push past that. So with the aid of stretching and the aid of obviously trying to push the kick, you will get there and get higher. But we want to make sure that you've got full control in your range of motion. So if my range of motion is to here, I want to make sure that I can do whatever I can in that range of motion to make my legs strong and controlled. So I'm choosing what I'm doing. So you practice going here, go low, chamber, middle. I practice doubles. I practice then going into triples. So you start getting used to being able to control that leg in your range of motion. Eventually then the range of motion will obviously go higher and higher. So when you get used to it, if you get to head height and that's your range of motion, same thing, you push yourself. So from there down to 2. You practice then, I might go from there, body, head. So you start challenging yourself. You don't want to just be happy at being able to hit that height, you want to be a master of that height. You want to make sure that you can do the kick in all stages. So, main pointers of the kick. I've got my guard up, I'm going to turn the foot out to start with. So I'm opening my hips. Now I'm going to lift my knee up, it comes around. So my knee now is pointing towards the target, my leg is horizontal. I'm going to extend my leg out, I recover and I come back through. I want to make sure, like I said, my shoulder is in line with my hip. I'm not pulling back, I'm not leaning forward, I'm looking at the target as I'm kicking it. Once you get used to this, you start then making sure obviously you can kick at different heights or you find your comfortable height. So I turn, lift up, kick, recover and back. Kick, recover and back. You want to snap the leg out and recover at the knee, or you want to hit with the leg and you want to recover with your hips. You want to pull your hip back. So there's a couple of ways now of developing the roundhouse kick. Obviously there's a million ways of delivering it. You can do it off the lead leg, you can do it obviously in a combination, you could do it off another kick. But this is the base level of how to do the kick. I'll go through obviously how to strengthen legs and develop techniques as we go through, but this is the main base layer of how to develop your roundhouse kick.